All right, welcome to By Referral Only. My name is Russ Fitzpatrick, and I want to be the first one to welcome you to the Worksaholic Army, made possible by Annie Mac Home Mortgage and the Annie Mac Works real estate productivity platform. Everything we do is free for realtors, and I've been studying NAR for the past 37 years, believe it or not. And the trends have never been more revealing. Friends, family, referrals, customers, past customers, and current customers are the sources of business for America's top realtors. You can use farm areas to get involved with more family and friends, make more relationships. You can get networking out in the business world and joining clubs like the Young Republicans Club or the Kiwanis Club or the JCs, or if you're involved in junior league, networking, expanding your sphere of influence, and maybe using a networking organization format like a BNI or something like that. Swimming with the current of these consumer trends rather than against them. And what I mean by that is when you study residential real estate professionals all across the country. And if you really dig down and study the behavior of buyers and sellers, it doesn't warrant spending tens of thousands of dollars on Zillow. It doesn't warrant buying expensive leads from realtor.com. What it warrants is paying attention to the people that know you, like you, and trust you, the people that already know your name, expanding your sphere of influence so that more people know your name, more people consider you a friend, or your friends and family members and coworkers from your old jobs and people that you graduated with. See, the funny thing that NAR found out is that 60% of all buyers deal with someone that they already knew or that was referred to them by someone that they knew. That's 60% market share just on the referrals. Only 10% of all real estate transactions are done by someone that they found online that they didn't know ahead of time. And one of the most important things that I want to point out is that bottom number on the far left-hand side of your screen. 89% of buyers would use their agent again or recommend their agent to others. So you've got this profound sphere of influence around you, and you need to work harder at cultivating that sphere. We're going to show you how today. On the right-hand side of your screen, 63% of sellers used a real estate agent that was referred from a friend or family member or an agent that they had done business with before. Here's the great statistic on the seller side. They don't interview multiple agents. 80% of sellers that use their friends and family, use their friends or family members to refer an agent to them, never interview more than one. They only interview one agent. They don't go have 3, 4 listing appointments and fight about commissions and anger about price and refuse to use a lockbox because they like, trust, and respect the people in their sphere. They are more cordial, they're more accommodating, they're more humble, they're more transparent than a for sale by owner or an expired. Now, 85% of the sellers who purchased a new home within 10 miles of the home they sold used the same agent. So you're talking about multiple transactions with people who like you, trust you, and respect you. And if that's not a firm endorsement for networking and sphere of influence marketing, I don't know what is. Our vision is to have you generate an additional 10 closed sales from 4 hours of actionable activities per week. So this stuff costs no money. There's no investment here. This is free, but you have to spend a couple hours a week. Our mission has always been the same on the right-hand side of your screen: to dramatically impact the career path of our members so that it is unquestionably the result of our relationship that you achieve predetermined benchmarks in your personal and professional life. The hardest part of our job is coming to you as real estate agents where you are and helping understand your predetermined benchmarks. What kind of goals do you have personally and professionally? And how can AnnieMac Works help you achieve these goals in your personal and professional life? That's what we're all about at AnnieMac Works. And, I've got friends and realtors all over the country that are spending money on leads. But as we change the texture of the residential real estate community with higher interest rates, what we're finding is that the 1,000 leads that you bought from Commissions Inc., or the 1,000 leads that you bought from Boomtown Leads, or KV Core, or Chime, or Salesforce, or if you're going out and buying leads from Google Paperclip, the funny thing is those leads are converting at a lower and lower figure every year from 2020 to 2024. The number of closed sale transactions per 1,000 leads has gone down every year since 2022. So you're talking about, as we move further down the road, only 10% of all families find their real estate agent through a property that they looked at online. 60% of buyers find their property directly from realtors that were either referred to them by a family or friend, or they met them through what I call sphere of influence marketing. Now, if you want to get involved in database mining, if you want to get involved in Fortune 500 caliber data management, the funniest thing is you're just going to have to learn about Excel. Excel is a Microsoft product. It's fast, it's free, and it works. You don't have to go out and invest tens of thousands of dollars on, incredible CRM technology. I love CRMs, and I know that your company offers you a CRM. I know that there's co-branded CRMs with mortgage partners. There's amazing things you can do with CRM technology, but all the fancy technology in your CRM, all the geo-targeting, geo-fencing, all of the retargeting campaigns that you can do inside of social media, everything that you can do begins and ends with you expanding your sphere of influence, adding more people to your database. And my solemn advice to realtors is to keep your data sacred. Make that Excel spreadsheet go with you from company to company to company when you move. Don't turn over your data to someone else. Keep your data, your Excel spreadsheet, as your kind of Bible of productivity. So, my first piece of advice to my real estate friends and members that are looking to achieve goals, predetermined benchmarks in their personal and professional life is go into Google and type free Excel training class. There's free tutorials, free advanced and expert tutorials, free beginner tutorials, intermediate tutorials right on your screen right now that are absolutely free, and they allow you to be the master of your own destiny. And I cannot stress any more passionately the opportunity for you to hold your own data, to grow your sphere of influence. Sphere of influence are all the people that know, like, and trust you. So you can grow that Excel spreadsheet over your first year to 100 people, maybe 200 people. And the secret weapon is really you. Who cuts your hair? Who serves you cocktails? Who coaches your kids? What businesses do you frequent? Who grooms your pet? Where do you spend your money? Who did you graduate with? Do you participate at church? Can you grow your sphere of influence? And last but not least, as we get to know each other better and you start to understand how if you search for a baby crib on Google, or if you shop for a karate dojo in town, all of a sudden you get 15 karate dojos sending you ads, right? Well, this is called predictive data analytics. And this is where social media, including the new Meta format and some of the incredible TikTokers out there, can spy on your friends. You can learn from their server, their unique IP address, what it is that they're shopping for right now. So you can set an alert that says, is anyone in my database using a mortgage calculator this month? Is anybody in my database searching for homes this month? Is anyone in my database checking on the value of their home? Because these clues that are provided through predictive data analytics can actually have you spying on your friend. And imagine your friend is shopping on Zillow, shopping on realtor.com, using mortgage calculators, going to housevalues.com, going to different sites to learn about the value of their home, looking up their Zillow value. Wouldn't it be neat to just pick up the phone and say, "Hey Bob, it's Russ from Remax. Hey Bob, it's Sally from Century 21. I know I haven't talked to you in so long. I was just curious how's things going. The last I talked to you, you just had a baby. Oh, you're having another baby. Oh, wow. You're thinking about buying a bigger house? Oh my gosh, what a coincidence. I was just calling you to check in on you and see if you knew anybody that was getting ready to buy or sell a house. It's funny that you are. Well, you knew that they were because their score on predictive data analytics went through the roof. Now, I can't teach you predictive data analytics in a short course like this, but as we get to know each other better, I'd like to show you how you could spy on your family and friends that are in your database. So, the first two lessons that we wanted to share with you is the most simple Excel spreadsheet that has all your data in one place that you protect from everyone. You hold that like your Bible. And then you set that database up in social media to target, retarget, geofence, geo-target, and make sure that you're touching that sphere of influence on a regular basis and that you're watching the predictive data analytics from those consumers in a way that gives you insight as to their consumer shopping behaviors. Have you ever heard of BNI? BNI is the ultimate networking experience. It is a private, exclusive chapter of positive professionals that are looking to share referrals with each other. And the interesting thing about BNI that I would like to highlight for you is that BNI uses one realtor, one title company, one mortgage company, one plumber, one air conditioning repairman, one Chinese restaurant, and you become an affiliation with these other like minded professionals so that you can grow a long term, meaningful relationship with other quality business professionals. So I want to use the example when you look at those 5 cups of coffee over there clanking in cheers. You know, a lot of BNI groups meet early in the mornings at big diners where they take over the whole restaurant first thing in the morning. Some of them meet at the public library. Some of them meet at, a private home. But BNI networks are incredible resources for expanding your sphere of influence. So you on the first couple slides, we talked about friends and family and people you graduated with and people who cut your hair. And, you know, I want to expand that in your mind to include a hyper local sort of club. So the chapter sets the time of a meeting. So let's say you were the chapter president. Let's just pretend for a moment that you had the personal power and conviction to start a chapter, whether it was a BNI chapter or it was your own version of a chapter. You just said, I'm going to build a group of realtors. You can follow this format that they created that is magical. One plumber, one financial planner, one realtor, one mortgage company, one title company. The rules vary because the leader of the chapter makes the rules. So I would aspire to being the chapter president if I could. Then you can control the categories, you can control the exclusivity. And if you want to charge money to be in the BNI group, you can charge money. So start thinking entrepreneurially about how you personally can build this hyper local networking group, whether you join an existing BNI group, whether you form a brand new BNI group, or whether you create your own sort of club that meets regularly. The exciting thing is the 15 minutes before the breakfast and the 15 minutes after the breakfast, while you meet someone else who's a financial planner, who's an insurance vendor, who's a ice cream shop owner. Yes, even your restaurants and more traditional office employees can join a BNI group if they have a product or service. So the idea that you would become this grassroots networking system, that you would become the chapter president, and your job, part of your job as a realtor, would be to coordinate other BNI, other members in your BNI group or other members in your local, hyper-local, shop local networking chapter. I don't want to be vague here. I want to be specific. What I'm challenging you to do is to think of yourself as a community leader, not the mayor, not the congressman, not the senator, but the local business leader who empowers other business people in your local market to meet once a week or once every other week. One of the ideas that came to us by meeting with some elite realtors is that they actually consider their mortgage partner and their title insurance company part of their cabinet of service providers. You know, the president has a cabinet. You have a cabinet. You have a cabinet that includes a mortgage banker, a title insurance company, a property and casualty insurance vendor. And if you don't have a cabinet of service providers, we're recommending that you do so that you can start to form a BNI or a BNI comparable chapter of local business leaders who agree to refer business to each other exclusively. So think about who could be your local mortgage, title, and property and casualty partners. So now you have 4 board members of your chapter right off the bat. You initially have a 4-legged stool with mortgage, title, property and casualty, and real estate. Then you 4 can sit down together and create some ground rules and make sure everybody agrees with the rules. The rules are easy to find. Just go on BNI. They do this in 56 countries. Set up some rules and make an agreement with people. So in Queens, New York, as an example, you have these shop local leaders, a mortgage banker, a realtor, a title company, add a property and casualty insurance vendor, and all of a sudden you already have 4 affiliates to your chapter. What an exciting thing. Now you go out and the 4 of you say, we need to find a builder. Are there any builders in our county that might want to join our by referral only network? Is there a financial planner? Is there a roofer, an AC company, a landscape company, a swimming pool vendor? Could we find a chiropractor that wants to join? Could we find one of those weight loss clinics, a veterinarian, a dentist, an optometrist? Is there a caterer or a DJ or a wedding planner? Is there a local event venue or a pub? Is there a B&B or an inn or an equipment rental company or a Chinese restaurant or an Italian restaurant that would like to join our chapter? And what you'll find is there's an enthusiastic almost like an entrepreneurial seizure takes place when they hear about this local chapter of business owners that's going to meet on a weekly or biweekly basis to share referrals and promote each other. So now, instead of promoting yourself on your website, instead of promoting yourself on your social media, you're actually touting this friendly chiropractor that you met who is part of your local, hyper local network. And you say, man, I met Steve, the chiropractor, the other day, and I got great feedback from his clients. And, I'm so excited to support local business owners through this hyper local shopping chapter. And I think you should shop local and work with the local plumber and work with the local landscape architect and work with the local title and mortgage and realtors. And this is such a politically appropriate thing to be going on right now. And the only thing you need is a little bit of an entrepreneurial vision and a little bit of an entrepreneurial commitment. So formality is very important. So these BNI chapters all over the globe, when you join Kiwanis or Junior League or the Chamber of Commerce, you find out that you get out of it what you put into it. And that membership dues of $500 to $900 a year are normal, but are they really necessary? If you were able to formalize your own shop local networking group, they would say, that sounds great, but what do I have to do? What's it going to cost me? And you could say it costs nothing because I'm running it. I'm the local realtor in town, and I wanted to do something special with the local vendors where we could coordinate formal referral network between all of us. So that when you think of real estate, you think of me. And when I think of referring people to your pizza joint or referring people to a chiropractor, I think of you. In order to formalize it, I would go study other referral networks like BNI or, get to know other networking solutions across the country. I think what you'll realize, they're very, very simple. It's all about participation. So one of the formats that I loved is that you say it costs $1 to join. We collect $1 using your credit card because we have 40 meetings a year. We meet 40 times a year. And we charge your credit card $10 if you miss a meeting. If you come to the meeting, we don't charge you anything. Think about that. You set up a Square account. Maybe you even incorporate. You could set up a 501(c) nonprofit if you wanted to. You're an entrepreneur that happens to be in real estate. And if you're an entrepreneur that happens to be in real estate, you have to think entrepreneurially. Could I get a credit card from the local chiropractor? Can I get a credit card from my title company, my mortgage company, event venue, my builder? And then have them sign a contract that says there's 40 meetings a year. So if you don't attend any meetings, you're going to get charged $400 a year. But if you attend all the meetings, your annual membership dues are $1 per year. That is a fair shake. I believe that's a fair shake, and it will hold your members accountable with a unique skip a meeting fee rather than a participation fee. So the people who participate fully don't pay anything, but the people that just want to belong to it and suck referrals out of it without giving referrals, well, they can be charged $400 a year, but you'd rather that they weren't. You'd rather that they came to the meetings 40 times a year. In the advent of higher interest rates, I wanted to share with you something that social media influencers all over the country are talking about, and it's this interest rate myth. The myth is that your real estate buyer would benefit for waiting for interest rates to come back down. And that could be nothing farther from the truth. See, interest rates are built to slow down the number of buyers in a community. That's why the Federal Reserve raises interest rates, to make fewer buyers. But whenever all the sheep are running towards the cliff, there's always one little black sheep going the opposite way. And that's what I think great realtors do. They sell when everyone else is buying, and they buy when everybody else is selling. And the funny thing about the booms and the busts in residential real estate is it's funny that the two biggest booms that I was ever involved in happened when interest rates were at 8.5% and 7% respectively. And the biggest bust I was ever involved in around 2009, 10, and 11, interest rates were at 4%. So you're not going to tell me that the booms and the busts correlate with interest rates. It's just that the sheep herd like that. And my son, who's 27, I'm telling him, look, if you buy a house today, you're going to lock in your payment, you're going to lock in your interest rate, you're going to lock in your home's value, and then you're going to take a ride called appreciation in equity. You can't do that renting. And the funny thing is that I told him, and the thing that social media influencers across the country are starting to say is interest rates can only do one of three things. Rates can go up, stay the same, or go down. And you benefit once you've owned your home, no matter which way they go. Because if the rates go up and you own your home, you're going to benefit because you've already locked in a rate. If the rates stay the same, no change. And if the rates go down, you can find a very affordable refinance to refinance at a higher equity position because you've started to pay down that mortgage and your appreciation has started to accrue equity. And that equity allows you to refinance at the new lower rate. So there's no benefit in waiting except for the fact that if the Federal Reserve drops the rates again, you're going to be in more bidding wars. You're going to be competing with more buyers, and you're probably going to pay a higher price for the same house. So, what I recommended to my own son and to all of the first time home buyers that I counsel is execute a legal and binding offer on a house as soon as you possibly can and lock in today's price and today's interest rates. Because if today's price continues to rise at as many as 15% appreciation per year, which we've seen, your mortgage is locked, and then you can always refinance it a couple of months or a couple years down the road. Start to talk about the interest rate mythbuster on your social media and show your consumers that the last 30 years the average interest rates was 7.75 from 1971 to 1923. 30-year mortgage rates, 30-year fixed mortgage interest rates over the last 50 years have averaged 7.75%. So all of your grandparents, all of your parents, all of your rich uncles and aunts bought their houses 20, 30 years ago at higher interest rates than you're buying your house at today, but you're the ones complaining about it. It doesn't make any sense to me whatsoever. Interest rates are fully deductible. If you're interested in building a chapter or learning more about Excel or getting to know some of those free Excel tutorials, you can always reach out to us at Annie Mac Works, service@anniemacworks.com. Go to anniemacworks.com and form a chapter today. I want to challenge you to become the entrepreneur that controls your own destiny. Own your Excel spreadsheet, grow that sphere of influence, start to add friends and family to that sphere of influence, and consider entrepreneurializing your real estate career with a chapter of hyper local shoppers and hyper local business owners that you can magnify your sphere of influence. I want to thank you for your commitment to Annie Mac Home Mortgage and the Annie Mac Works Real Estate Productivity Platform.